The sun had barely risen over the divided lands when whispers of war once again spread across the world. The Kingdom of Azul, ruled by the legendary Lionel Messi, stood in silence after the humiliating defeat suffered months earlier. Across the horizon, beyond the mountains of fire and the endless deserts, the Kingdom of Rubis flourished under the command of Cristiano Ronaldo, the warrior king whose army had conquered nearly every battlefield in its path. The first war between the two kingdoms had become the greatest story ever told. Songs were sung about it in villages, and children dreamed of becoming warriors like Messi and Ronaldo. Yet for Messi, the memory was painful. The defeat haunted him every night. He could still hear the cheers of Ronaldo's soldiers as the battlefield burned behind him. Inside the royal palace of Azul, Messi stood alone before a giant window overlooking the city. He was no longer dressed in traditional royal armor. Instead, he wore a perfectly tailored black suit that reflected elegance and authority. The suit shimmered slightly beneath the morning sunlight, making him look less like a king and more like a mastermind preparing for his ultimate revenge. A messenger rushed into the room. "My king," he said, kneeling. "Scouts have returned from the eastern border." Messi slowly turned around. "What news do they bring?" The messenger hesitated. "Ronaldo's kingdom grows stronger every day. New alliances have joined him. His army now controls the Valley of Champions." The room fell silent. Messi clenched his fists. "Then the time has come." The messenger looked up. "For what, my king?" Messi's eyes burned with determination. "For revenge." Across the continent, Ronaldo sat upon his magnificent throne in the Kingdom of Rubis. The grand hall was filled with banners representing every victory he had achieved. Unlike previous years, Ronaldo too had adopted a new appearance. He wore an elegant black suit crafted from the finest materials in the kingdom. The suit highlighted his commanding presence, making him appear untouchable. Generals stood before him discussing military strategies. Suddenly, the palace doors opened. A spy entered and bowed. "My king, we have received important information." Ronaldo leaned forward. "Speak." "The Kingdom of Azul is preparing for war." The hall erupted into murmurs. Ronaldo remained calm. "So Messi seeks revenge?" "Yes, my king." A smile appeared on Ronaldo's face. "I was wondering how long it would take." One of the generals stepped forward. "Should we launch a preemptive attack?" Ronaldo shook his head. "No." The generals exchanged confused glances. "No?" Ronaldo stood up and walked toward the giant map hanging on the wall. "If Messi wants revenge, let him come. Great warriors do not fear challenges. They welcome them." Meanwhile, deep inside the hidden mountains, Messi had assembled an elite council of champions. Warriors from distant lands answered his call. Neymar, the Prince of Shadows, arrived with his swift assassins. Kylian Mbappé, the lightning commander, brought an army capable of crossing entire regions in a single night. Erling Haaland, the giant of the north, marched with thousands of powerful warriors. The council gathered around a massive table. Messi studied each face carefully. "We lost the last war because we underestimated Ronaldo." Nobody spoke. "This time, we fight smarter." Mbappé nodded. "What is the plan?" Messi pointed toward the map. "We strike where he least expects." Neymar smiled. "Now this sounds interesting." For weeks, preparations continued in secret. Weapons were forged. Alliances were strengthened. Soldiers trained day and night. Across both kingdoms, tension filled the air. Citizens knew something enormous was approaching. Then came the day that changed everything. A mysterious figure appeared at the borders of both kingdoms. Nobody knew his name. Nobody knew where he came from. Yet his arrival spread fear across the continent. He wore a dark cloak and carried a strange symbol no one recognized. The mysterious traveler entered villages and spoke of an ancient prophecy. A prophecy that predicted the destruction of both kingdoms. News quickly reached Messi and Ronaldo. Both leaders ordered investigations. Days later, the traveler disappeared without a trace. But the warning remained. The prophecy spoke of a final battle so powerful that it would reshape the world forever. Some believed it was nonsense. Others believed destiny itself had spoken. Messi ignored the rumors. His focus remained fixed on revenge. At midnight, he gathered his commanders. The attack begins tomorrow. Excitement spread through the camp. Finally, the moment had arrived. Thousands of soldiers prepared to march. Banners waved beneath the moonlight. Torches illuminated endless rows of warriors ready to fight for their king. Messi stepped onto a platform overlooking the army. His black suit moved gently in the wind. The soldiers fell silent. "My friends," he began. "You stood beside me in defeat." The crowd listened carefully. "You witnessed our darkest day." Many lowered their heads. "But tomorrow." Messi paused. "Tomorrow we write a new story." The soldiers erupted with cheers. "We fight not for revenge alone." The cheering grew louder. "We fight for honor." The mountains echoed with their voices. "We fight for our kingdom." The ground trembled beneath their determination. "And we fight because legends never surrender." The army roared louder than ever before. Far away, Ronaldo stood atop the walls of Rubis. His own army stretched beyond the horizon. Thousands upon thousands of elite warriors waited for his command. The king surveyed the battlefield ahead. A general approached. "They are coming." Ronaldo nodded. "I know. Are you ready, my king?" Ronaldo smiled. "I have been ready my entire life." The next morning, both armies advanced. The earth shook beneath millions of footsteps. Birds fled from the forests. Clouds gathered overhead. Nature itself seemed aware that history was about to be written. Messi rode at the front of his army. Ronaldo led from the opposite side. For the first time since the previous war, the two legends saw each other again. Neither spoke. Neither smiled. Their eyes alone told the story. Respect. Rivalry. Determination. Everything had led to this moment. Suddenly, horns echoed across the valley. The battle had begun. Warriors charged forward. The clash was immediate and explosive. Steel collided. Shields shattered. Dust filled the air. Mbappé's forces attacked the flanks with incredible speed. Haaland's giants broke through defensive lines. Neymar's shadow warriors infiltrated enemy positions. For a brief moment, it appeared that Messi's strategy was working. Ronaldo's army began losing ground. Generals rushed to the king. "My lord, they are breaking through." Ronaldo watched calmly. "Good." The general looked confused. "Good?" Ronaldo nodded. "Everything is proceeding exactly as planned." Then he raised his hand. A signal flag appeared atop the central tower. Moments later, hidden forces emerged from the surrounding hills. Thousands of elite warriors rushed into battle. Messi's commanders stared in disbelief. It was a trap. The battlefield instantly shifted. Now it was Messi's army facing encirclement. Chaos spread through the ranks. Explosions erupted. Smoke covered the valley. For the second time, Ronaldo had outsmarted everyone. Yet Messi was prepared. He smiled. Phase 2. Secret tunnels hidden beneath the battlefield suddenly opened. Fresh reinforcements emerged behind enemy lines. Ronaldo's generals were shocked. The battle became completely unpredictable. Neither side held the advantage. The valley transformed into a storm of strategy and courage. Hour after hour, both kingdoms fought relentlessly. As sunset approached, the battlefield resembled a scene from legend. Neither army had achieved victory. Both had suffered losses. Both remained determined. Then the impossible happened. A massive earthquake shook the valley. Everyone stopped fighting. The ground cracked open. Ancient ruins emerged from beneath the earth. Soldiers from both sides stared in amazement. The ruins matched descriptions from the mysterious prophecy. Messi and Ronaldo approached cautiously. Inside the ruins stood an enormous stone monument. Ancient symbols covered its surface. A single message was carved into the center. The fate of the kingdoms will be decided not by war, but by unity. Silence spread across the battlefield. Messi looked at Ronaldo. Ronaldo looked back. For years, they had fought to prove who was greater. Yet the prophecy suggested something entirely different. The true challenge was not defeating each other. It was overcoming their hatred. Night slowly descended. Neither king spoke. The armies waited. The future of both kingdoms hung in the balance. Would Messi abandon his revenge? Would Ronaldo lower his sword? Or would the greatest rivalry in history continue toward an even more devastating confrontation? As lightning illuminated the sky above the ancient ruins, both legends stood face to face. The answer remained unknown. And somewhere in the darkness, hidden among the shadows, the mysterious traveler watched everything unfold. A faint smile appeared beneath his hood. The real game had only just begun.